found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitches burning out. Lightning in a bottle. I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitches burning.
Kick start sits?
Hope so.
Feels like week 2.
Yeah. No,
Doesn't
not
feel
really.
like we've had 6 weeks of football.
Kind of.
We're
Well, we
going
have.
on 6 weeks.
We're getting there.
Yeah,
It's only Tuesday.
Alrighty. Yeah. By the way, we are recording this Tuesday, so if injuries do happen, do not blame us. But week 6 start sits, quarterbacks, tight ends today. Alex, just a quick recap. How did we do last week?
Brandon handled it. I went 6-5. It feels a lot worse because I was 0-3 in that London game, so my spirits were just deflated going into that. I'm surprised they pulled it out. Ed, you went 5-7. Brandon had a rough stretch. Brandon went 3-8. Brandon actually fall. Does Brandon fall below Ed in the standings?
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he does. Brandon falls below Ed in the standings by half a game. 1 game in the loss column. I'm building a more comfortable lead, so that's
crazy. Why do I have more
injuries?
I just need to start
Which is why
picking
my
injured
number
players.
is
Sit Juju
considerably smaller.
Smith-Schuster. Wait, I did that last week. I'm gonna do it again.
You're gonna sit the guy on IR. That's a good decision.
Yes. Because then while you guys are racking up some L's, I'll be just staying at 27-31.
I've had 5 more of my picks get injured than Ed, 6 more than Brandon. At this point, like starting my players is dangerous because they will get hurt. What do I have to do? But all right, man, let's just get into this quarterbacks. Who's starting us off?
You can.
Go for
Him
it.
starting us off. All right, this is like going to be my favorite DFS play that'll somehow fall on its face. But Taylor Heineke against the Chiefs. The Chiefs defense is so bad. Come on, man. And like Washington's defense is like weirdly been a tire fire. So, you can expect the Chiefs to roll them, I would assume. So Heineke is going to have to put up points. And he played like shit last week, but like it's the Chiefs.
Yeah. I've got Baker Mayfield against the Cardinals. Just 2 good offenses going at it. Baker Mayfield should have a pretty good day. Odell Beckham could possibly come back to life.
Just maybe.
I'll get to that later, Odell Beckham, but I like the pick. Trevor Lawrence is my quarterback start against Miami. Not much to say really about this besides the fact that there aren't that many quarterbacks to choose from outside of the known starters. And I was liking Taylor Heineke, but Alex took him. So I went with my substitute, which is Trevor Lawrence, which I guess is a fine, fine little streamer, especially seeing as, 4 quarterbacks are off. Not necessarily fantasy relevant quarterbacks, Matt Ryan, Trey Lance, who else? Zach Wilson, somebody else. I'm sure you're probably not starting any of them, but if
Trey Lance
you are
is quickly becoming fantasy relevant.
Quickly, he is.
Until he unsprains his knee.
Yeah. But Trevor Lawrence, I don't really got much else to say about him.
All right, man.
Speaking of unsprained, legs.
Go ahead, Brent.
Well, I was going to let Ed get into his.
I think he had more than a sprain.
That's true. It was a little
bit worse. All right, Ed.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Mine's really bold, and I really would not fault you for starting him. And this is really just I don't really know who else to choose. I was going to say Carson Wentz, but I feel like that's a layup. So I wanted to go bold, go big, go home type thing. It's a quarterback that's starting against the Patriots in New England, rainy day. I think it's going to be low scoring, even though Vegas doesn't believe it's going to be low scoring. It's like 50-point total. Dak Prescott against the Patriots. They've been looking super fucking efficient lately, super elite, super top 5 offense in the NFL type thing. And not saying I expect it to slow down, but the fact that it is going to be raining, Patriots did not show their defense too well last week against the Texans. Looked really bad. So you would imagine Dak would have a great game, but kind of like pulling the reins back a little bit, like temper your expectations. I would not fault you for starting, like I said, because it's Dak Prescott, top 5 quarterback, but had to go somewhere. So figure I'd take a bold stance. Hopefully it hits.
You said Wentz is a layup. Well, then I must have had a
Not last
breakaway
week.
layup and then brick it off the backboard
Brandon
because
missing the layups.
I had him as a sit.
Always. Always.
But I have Ryan Tannehill as a sit this week. Status of Julio Jones as of right now is unknown. We're recording this on Tuesday, so it could have changed by now. But even if it doesn't, the Buffalo defense has been really good this season, and the Titans offense has kind of stymied over the first few weeks of the season. So I'm going with the new hotness of the Buffalo defense, slamming people through tables.
They're really about that shit, Buffalo.
Yeah.
I'm going to go. I don't have a good history of this, but I'm not feeling Kirk Cousins at Carolina this week. Which probably means he'll have 400 passing yards because he does have good weapons. But Carolina, they were leading the league in pressure rate prior to this week. I haven't seen the numbers since. I would imagine they're still pretty high. They pretty much stymied the Eagles' offense, which isn't necessarily that difficult, but I think they could give Kirk trouble this week. And if they have McCaffrey back, I would expect them to lean on the running game a little more, especially because, Darnold having a little regression in the mean doesn't help him.
Yeah.
I think this could be a lower scoring game.
Respect it.
All right. We went 0 for 6 on quarterbacks last week, so we should probably do the opposite. Tight ends. I'll lead us off. I really like Mike Gesicki this week, actually. And I like him a little less now that I know Tua is back because Brissett was really peppering this man. And Tua will probably just give him like 3 targets and I'm going to be pissed off about it. But they don't really have any pass catchers. Like, they're dropping like flies out there. Jacksonville doesn't really guard much of anything very well, not tight ends. Not really anything. And, Gesicki should probably get some targets. I like it. There's like 3 tight ends that you should be starting, and the rest are just slop. So
Now, if I pick 2 tight ends, am I valid for an extra point?
No, Brandon, you ask this every week. Every week.
I
tell
want
you
to pick 2 tight ends, man.
That's
Well, I
why.
gotta go with the one I have here, and it's not even primarily off of opportunity because the other guy has opportunity too. But it's Ricky Seals-Jones. He's out there pretty much the whole Logan Thomas reps, which is practically the entire time the offense is on the field, and he's bound to get targets in a high-scoring game, I'm assuming, or at least a game where you could guess that Washington would be behind. So I'm going to say Ricky Seals-Jones will have a solid outing and be good. And Dan Arnold is the other tight end. Telling you, Urban Meyers, if he can do one thing right, it's make a tight end look better than what they are.
Yeah, I debated going Dan Arnold, so I do like that second one. I was debating on changing it right now as well, but I'm not going to. So my start's going to be Tyler Higbee. I know he's a little bit banged up, but I like him this week against the Giants. Kind of like a here and there type of guy, and the Giants defense not all that hot. So yeah, maybe a nice little dart throw, I guess. But then if he is injured, like we said earlier, this is Tuesday recording. If he's injured, the opposite side of the field, I like Evan Ingram. Liked him last week, especially since the Shepard's banged up still. I don't know if he's gonna play or not. Tony's a little bit banged up as well. Slayton's hurt. Kenny Galladay's out. The quarterback is now Mike Glennon, and he got a few targets when Mike Glennon was in the game last week. So could be a good look volume wise. So yeah, I'd start him if Tyler Higbee is hurt.
Beautiful.
Remember those commentators trying to tell me how good of a game Mike Glennon was having, like at a point where he'd played like a quarter or so without the offense moving the ball at all. Like, he's having a good game, isn't he? I wouldn't say that. He was responsible for a touchdown, like on the first play came in because he handed off to somebody, jumped over piles. So I wouldn't really give him credit for that. But anyway, tight end sits. I'm going to caution you against rushing to start David Njoku because this man is voodoo, and the Cardinals are not necessarily the Cardinals of years past of defending the tight end. They used to be really bad at it. Now I guess they're pretty good at it, but maybe they just haven't faced a good one yet. I don't know. I don't love it. This tight end market is just a minefield, and I think you're gonna get sucked into like spending some of the fab you have left, or using a waiver priority on a guy that may or may not be there.
I'd like to see the Browns hyper target David Njoku just to basically like show off their
Just a
tight
kid.
end, and then they can turn around and trade them to the Cardinals. Oh, okay, yeah, you can do that. Kind of like
All right,
here's what we can do. Here's what Njoku can do. But
you got.
what's up?
So who you got?
Who do I got? I got Robert Tunyon. Set him. He's been terrible the past few weeks, and most likely he'll have a great game this week. But it's a divisional round game. Just not. He's out there. He's
Yeah,
he's basically like a pretend Aaron Rodgers friend. Like, I'm your friend, Rodgers. But he's really not.
Like Alan Lazard.
Yeah, like Alan Lazard
Like everybody
I
that's
just sit
not
with these
Aaron
guys at lunch.
Jones and
or Devontae
Devontae
Adams.
Adams. Yeah, every single person.
They're like, as the three of them are leaving practice together, like getting in the same car and like going off and like hanging out.
Rodgers is
The
like,
guys
oh,
are
I
like,
forgot
hey
something in
guys,
the locker room.
Tunyon and Lazard are like, hey, bye guys, and they're like, yeah, man.
Later. Rob, Bert.
Robert, I
Is
forget
it
that
Bob?
man's name.
All right, Ed, who you got?
I got Dalton Schultz.
Stacking 'em.
Same reason. Yeah, exactly. Quarterback tight end stack here. Stat Dak, low scoring game, I believe it's going to be, even though he was the leading target getter for the Cowboys last week. And he looked pretty hot the past 3 weeks. I do think there may be a chance that he just doesn't perform this week.
And maybe teams will start guarding him.
That too.
Or they'll just decide that they can't afford to guard him. I understand.
With all those
Right.
weapons, yeah, it makes sense.
It's the lightning round. Best QB. I'm going Josh Allen.
Patrick
Tennessee
Mahomes.
is not a good defense.
Josh Allen.
Ed changing
Wow.
the pick.
I thought Ed
All
and I did the swap because last week we both said Allen and Alex said
Now
Mahomes.
it's the opposite. All right, I'm going tight end. I'm going Kelsey because we'd already discussed this.
Darren Waller against Denver.
TJ freaking Hawkinson against Cincinnati.
All right.
That'll
That's
do
it. None of this will be right.
At all. Like, comment, share, subscribe. This is First Choice Fantasy. Check out the wide receivers and running backs episode next. Adios.